This video is going to be on factoring by grouping. Factoring by grouping is just a way to factor a polynomial that has 4 terms. Now, just because it has 4 terms doesn't mean it can be factored by grouping. It does have to be of a certain structure. So let me give an example of something that could be factored by grouping. It would be something like x cubed plus x squared plus 2x plus 2. This polynomial can be factored by grouping. The grouping things that we use are going to be parentheses. So what we're going to do is we're going to group the first 2 terms and the last 2 terms. So we're going to group the x cubed and the x squared, and we're going to group the 2x and the 2. And so then after that, we're going to take out the GCF in each parenthesis. So the GCF in the first parentheses is going to be x squared. And then after that, it'll leave us with, if we take out 2 x's from the x cubed, that'll just leave us with x to the first power. And then if we take out both x's off of the x squared, that's going to leave us with just plus 1, the coefficient in front. Then, if we take out the GCF in the second pair, it's a 2 again, or it's a 2, and what it's going to leave us with is x plus 1 again. The key to this, when you factor by grouping, is to get the same thing in each parentheses. If that happens, then you know you can factor. If it doesn't happen, then the polynomial is not factorable. But what you have now is, since the parentheses are the same thing, then this is your new, this guy right here, and right here is your new GCF of the whole problem. And what we're going to do is we're going to take it out. And normally when you take out a GCF, you only write it once. So we're going to write it once, x plus 1. And then it will leave us with, these guys will go away, and it'll leave us with what's in red there, x squared plus 2. And that's how you factor by grouping. Let's try one where you may have to go and factor a little bit more after it. So, for example, let's go with 3x cubed. All right. Let's not make it 3. Let's make it actually 9. That could be a little more exciting. So let's go with 9x cubed. All right, minus 18x squared minus x plus 2. All right, so it's got 4 terms, so we can factor by grouping. So we're going to group the first 2 together, and then what we're going to do is we're going to group the second 2. But if you notice, there is a minus sign in the middle, and that creates some problems for us. So what we want to do is we actually want to include the minus sign in our second group, and whatever the greatest common factor is in the second group, you're going to make it negative. So the GCF in the first pair is going to be 9, and then they share 2 x's, so 9x squared, which leaves us with x minus 2. And then the second parentheses doesn't really have a GCF other than 1, and so we're going to take out a 1, but we're going to make it negative 1. And then to see what's left, we're going to divide each term inside the parentheses by negative 1. So negative x divided by negative 1, 2 negatives make a positive, so it'd be x. And then 2 divided by negative 1 is negative 2. By doing that, it has allowed us to have the same thing in each parentheses, which now when we take that out, it'll leave us with x minus 2. And then what's left in the parentheses, or what's left in front of the parentheses, is 9x squared minus 1. One of the questions we have to ask when the polynomials become a little bit higher in their degree, this one has a degree of 3, we want to make sure that we ask the question, can I keep factoring? If the answer is yes, then we need to keep going. 9x squared minus 1 is a difference of squares problem, where we can now factor this whole thing to x minus 2, that stays the same, but 9x squared minus 1 factors to 3x minus 1 and 3x plus 1. And so that would be a problem where you use factoring by grouping and then you have to keep going. All right? Have a great day.